You have to get the neurons of people vibrating. Let the creative juices come out. You ask those kind of questions, which many a times force them to think better than yourself, because today they are better equipped. And I'll say also one more thing, that you are not uh, digitally equipped every way, but nobody stops you from being digitally savvy.
Hi and welcome to another episode of the peopleHum interview series. I'm your host Neha Murthy, and let's begin with a quick introduction of peopleHum. peopleHum is an end-to-end, one-view integrated human capital management automation platform, the winner of the 2019 Global Codie Awards for HCM that is specifically built for crafted employee experiences and the future of work. We run the peopleHum blog and video channel, which receives upwards of 200,000 visitors a year and publish around 2 interviews with well-known names globally every month. And now for our guest, we have with us today Pranav Sinha, co-founder of iSoul Coaches United. Pranav has over 35 years of experience of handling an entire gamut of HR activities, including policy formation pertaining to various areas of HR, guiding his company's policies related to compensation and benefits, human resource development, resettlement and rehabilitation, and benchmarking with the leading national and international companies. He has looked after the entire gamut of HR's corporate communication and looked after the entire learning and development initiatives and entities. His interpersonal communication skills and endless endeavors in the field of human resource development introduced him to the crafting of coaching. He is a certified executive coach by Marshall Goldsmith, certified EQI 2.0 and EQI 360 certified NLP practitioner. We are extremely happy and honored to have someone of his stature on our interview series today. Welcome, Pranav. We are thrilled to have you.
Thank you. It's my pleasure, Sneha. I must thank you and peopleHum to giving me this opportunity to speak to your audience and to you in particular. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. It's our pleasure, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to speak with you.
Yeah.
So to begin with it, Pranav, can you tell us about iSoul Coaches United and the ideologies associated with your company?
Oh, sure. What got you here won't get you there is the book title of Marshall Goldsmith. In fact, that attracted me towards coaching. And towards that, we were doing a training exercise for coaching certification for ICF. There we met 4 people, and they all were strangers from different backgrounds. We all came together. Somehow the chemistry matched, and we thought of iSoul coaches. In fact, this is how we met, and the 5th partner also came in later. The mission of this institution, which is in its nascent stages, is creating possibilities, enabling transformation, and elevating leadership in the world. So this is our mission with which we are moving. Our basic intention is to unleash the untapped potential. This is how, and help people to achieve extraordinary results in all walks of their life, whether it is professional life or personal life. This is how we started this journey. It's really a very exciting journey. We started only in April 2020 during pandemic, but going very well.
That's really interesting, and it inspires a lot how you said what gets you here won't get you there, and that motive is got a long way, right?
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, that is how coaching is defined. Yeah.
Absolutely. And also, I found your background in formulating policies for HR very interesting. Could you shed some light on the process and that aspect of HR?
Oh, sure. That is very close to my heart. First, I'll tell you a small story. How did I got inducted in policy? Because I was looking after employee services, though I was also looking after employee benefits beforehand. In fact, one day my chairman, the then chairman, Mr. Rajendra Singh, called me and handed me over one paper. and told me that within 7 days, make a board note and come back to me directly. Don't go to your boss. I was taken aback. I had never made a board note till that particular day. Okay, 7 days was the time. I did research. I learned from people. I made the board note and gave it to him. He cleared the board note. The next day, orders were issued for me to shift to policy. I didn't know that he's taking me or testing me for policy induction. So this is how I got inducted. As far as policy is concerned, it's highly interactive process. It's a highly interactive process, consultative process. While making the policy, you ask the process. While making the policy, you must think of employee experience, what you are making, how the employee is going to experience it. So if you keep that in mind, so that will be easier. I'll tell you the core principles of NTPC, where I worked for my larger part of life, that is 35 years. We have a philosophy of HR on which the whole HR system relies on. It's a we call 4 pillars of philosophy of HR. It is competence building, commitment building, culture building, and system building. So policy was encompassing everything. It has to be participative. Joint policy making, sometimes we do. Also, it's a top management function. Your top management, it goes to the board for approval, and then we circulate. And the last but not the least is how you communicate to the people. So that is also very important. I'll tell you about one story about my feeling about my experience about how we did the employee experience changes the course of action. In fact, we were doing a long-term settlement way back in 2010, 10 years back. And there, despite our best intentions, we could not get the long-term agreement signed. Only 2 major unions signed, but the balance 2 and some independent leaders did not sign. But employee knew after signing that what they are going to get. They made such effort that within 1 month, each and every union signed, and it became a majority union from minority agreement. So this is how, when you are building a policy, how you travel to think of employee experience. So this is how the policy is made. There are many experiences, but this was the one I thought of telling. There is also, the policy has also to be continuously evolving. Go on simplifying, depending on the time to come, what time you are. Right now we are into COVID situation. Try to make your policy, leverage your policy like that. You are in a different situation, your difficult situation of 2008, 2009, when there was financial crisis, how you are going to deal with that. So all those things, then you are implementing SAP in your company, re-engineer the whole policy so that it is easier for people to take. See, the biggest thing is that when you are hiring a person, you are hiring a person for a productive work in a particular area. But if he has to come to HR department or finance department for his works always. So in 2008, 2009, we removed this completely, and he could do everything from his seat, and he could get all the payments to their banks, and they were not required to move out of their place of work. And that is how we enhance the productivity of the company. So this is the story of my policy making in NTPC. And also one more story I'll tell you. In public sectors, you must be knowing that it used to be highly entitled based compensation. 2007, I was also inducted by Department of Public Enterprises, Government of India, to assist them in second round of salary revision for executives of public sectors. So there we moved from entitlement based to role based policy, compensation policy, and it was a paradigm shift. It was a paradigm shift, and we also included into that performance related pay, separation benefits, cafeteria approach. You are not required to put anything, any receipt or all those things to the company. So it was trust based, this thing. So it was a great story. And I must thank in this interview Mr. K.D. Tripathi, the then Joint Secretary of Department of Public Enterprise, who gave us so much of autonomy to think and implement our vision. And it was a great journey.
Absolutely. As you said, it makes so much of sense. Like, in order to make a policy, we need to be in the shoes of the employees to understand what experience they are going through, right? And that is how we can benefit them as well.
It is not only employees, it is all the stakeholders who you have to be there.
Yes, definitely.
It is not only employees one. So
Right.
all the stakeholders, whether it is board of directors or finance, because you have to work within a particular budget.
Right.
So everybody is a stakeholder and you have to satisfy everyone.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And also, in the recent times, we've seen a varied concepts of employee engagements where, employee engagement is not just when employees are working for you, but also engaging them before and after they join a firm, right? So considering that, in the post-retirement phase, how important would you say is post-retirement pension in relation to employee engagement?
Oh, it's great. Very nice question. And I slightly broad base your question. Instead of only pension, I'll link it to employee wellness. See, if you look at the classical definition of engagement, it is a workplace approach resulting in right conditions for all members of an organization to give their best each day, committed to organization's goals and vision, thereby enhancing the bottom line. So with this background of engagement, if you see all the units of NTPC are in the back of beyond, where nobody goes, there NTPC goes and generates power from there, because generally it is pithead at near coal mine. So there you have to create a facility which is for them so that they are not required to go out. So employee wellness in NTPC means whole lot. Earlier we used to call it employee welfare. Now in the modern times, it is known as employee wellness. It also includes hugely health benefits to employees. And it is fabulous in not only in public sectors, in NTPC, but all the major Maharatna companies or the big corporations of public sectors like IOC, ONGC, BHEL, you name them, and they are having a wonderful health policy, which takes care of you in any eventuality, not only you, your family also, including your parents. And this traverses towards the end of the journey when you are superannuating. So the employee pension, it is now defined contribution. It's not defined benefit scheme. So employee contributes and the company also contributes throughout their journey of their life in working life, and then you get pension at the end. And also towards that, I had told you when I was doing with DP, the separation benefit was allowed. It was to the tune of 30% of basic and DA, dearness allowance. So in that 30% comes your profit, PF, that is, and gratuity, pension, and medical. So post-retirement medical is a big attraction for employee engagement, including pension. So with this theory in mind, not only NTPC, many companies are doing this. Many companies in Steel Authority, in private sector also, few companies are doing like L&T and all those. Certainly not in IT industries because attrition rate is very high there. But if you compare with manufacturing like us or process industries like us, the attrition is virtually nil. Somebody may say, turn around, say that this is also not good, but you need specialists to run power plants when your power plants are ranging from 62 megawatts to 800 megawatts. So this kind of technology spectrum we do have to run those power plants and to give you generate electricity 24/7 for you. So this is how employee engagement helps or gets boost through pension and post-retirement, what we say separation benefit schemes of NTPC or any of these large corporations. So direct thing is attrition is low, very high motivation level. Third is we have been doing both survey. It is employee satisfaction survey, what we call. And this we have been doing right from 2002 onwards. And there, to our surprise, the first year it was a surprise in the first survey. Two things were outstanding. One was employee commitment and second was employee engagement. These were very high. It was to the tune of 82 to 85%, which is normally not seen. And that got reflected when we went for great places of work or this kind of all those things that got reflected in those places. So this is how pension or separation benefits are linked to employee engagement. In fact, I'll tell you, we say in NTPC or any of these companies, a person who stays for 3 years after induction, your induction is largely at very lower level, that is executive trainees, what we call, or management trainees. If he stays here for 3 years, he's here forever. Very few people leave, very few people leave. Including, there are so many companies in private sector, but people don't leave NTPC. Or for that matter, any of these large corporations in energy sector or steel sector or manufacturing, anything you say.
Absolutely. It definitely doubles up the employee experience as well.
Exactly. Employee experience is superb. Yeah.
Definitely. And also, Pranav, you're a certified executive coach by Marshall Goldsmith for GLS 360 and various certified, right? So how would you say leadership has changed over the past decade? And with respect to that, what tenets of leadership do you personally abide by? Would you also like to shed some light on how leaders can equip themselves better to embrace the leadership of the future?
Oh, very long question. Let me try to give you each and every perspective. Okay. See, in the past 10 years or before, people have been moving from autocratic to more inclusive leadership styles. And one size fits all is not a need of the hour. In the past 10 years, it has changed a hell of a lot. People are there in the broad spectrum of your leadership journey, that is from arrogant leader to highly motivated who has very high EQ level to lead his team. So you will find everywhere. But in general, those people are succeeding, including in private sector, who is more inclusive, who is from moves from who has moved from normal control and command to empowerment. So empowerment is because today's millennials do not believe in telling them, and many a times you all know better than us what is required to be done rather than we telling you. So empowerment is more important today. And one more thing is there, which is very important. Earlier leaders were result oriented. You must have seen 2002, 2003, or 2000, around 2000 when WorldCom happened, when many companies in US got bankrupt, and then it was result orientation. My department's result are met. I get my own performance related pay, variable pay. That's all. Nobody was interested in growth. So all these experiences of 2000 to 2002, 7, 8 has taught us to move from result orientation to growth orientation. Growth is that organization's growth. This is how the journey has moved in the past decade. And it's very important. Many things, even in India and US, has changed. Your company's act has changed. Governance issues are much more larger than what it used to be. Today, any leader can't get away with by doing anything. So he has to, if it is a public listed company, they have to reply to SEBI and all those things. So even regulation wise also, you are there. So there is no way out but to get the best out of the whole situation. How to get is the best way is to empower people. So it's both. People have also grown, systems have also grown, regulators have also grown. So the whole system is moving towards much more transparency and much more empowerment. So this is how it has. Your part 2 of the question, my leadership style. See, my leadership style company has rotated me enough, right from research-based policy to station head to region head to L&D head to corporate communication head. So it was all role-based. One size fits approach doesn't work. But few things are fundamental to my kind of leadership. One is first and foremost is it has to be value driven. Number 2 is walk the talk. Number 3 is keep all the channels of communication open with an ear to listen and listen deeply. And I also say many a times, especially when I was in corporate communication, that you also must open the track 2 channel of communication. So my style is this. So deep listening skills, and that also helps me in coaching. And since I have been in employee facing or outsider facing like journalist and all those, so I developed this habit of deep listening and what they are saying. And you know, one thing is very interesting. You have got a 3 pound gelatinous material between the two ears. So that is there to process things, not to react. So response, how you respond to a particular question can be done only after you have a level 2, level 3. I'm not saying level 4 listening, but yes, up to level 3 listening, you can do whole lot much better than that. So use this 3 pound gelatinous material between the two ears. I have been generally a typical situational leader. Uh, what that includes telling, selling, participative, and delegative. Telling is to those persons in the team, and there are many times when you have to tell what to do, it won't go. So directive coaching is required when you are leading also to few people and to maybe many of them. And those who are slightly more experienced or slightly more competent people, you can sell them. There you'll be finding in all the organizations, they don't move unless they are nudged. So if you sell idea, they start working. The third is participative. If somebody is doing better, participate in that. How are they doing? What are going to be? And there are super souls in your organization. Get it to them. Don't waste your time. Do more think. And as far as telling and selling is concerned, there is no place for yelling anymore. And the third aspect, what you said, in my opinion, today, it's a time for any leader to behave as more of a coach rather than in a typical command and control. When I'm making this statement, I'm not making a statement as an executive coach. What I'm talking about is internal coaching. When leaders themselves start behaving like a coach, and all those competencies of a coach, if he imbibes, certainly the productivity is going to be higher and higher. As I was telling you that when we were talking about Marshall Goldsmith, or in the first question itself, you have to get the neurons of people vibrating, let the creative juices come out. You ask those kind of questions, which many a times force them to think better than yourself, because today they are better equipped. And I'll say also one more thing, that you are not digitally equipped every way, but nobody stops you from being digitally savvy. So the leader has to be also digitally savvy. Otherwise, it's going to be a very difficult task. So I'll say a leader as a coach, he has to be more empathetic, listens more, speaks less, and certainly with the ear of listening more and asking right questions, open-ended right questions, not close-ended, not in yes and no. Yeah.
Definitely. Thank you so much for that positivity at the end. And it opens up a lot of fresh new perspectives through everyone, right?
Yeah, if at all.
Thank you so much. So before wrapping up the interview, Pranav, I would like to ask you any sound bites that you would like to leave our audience with.
Sound bites, interesting. My take on keeping in view the today's situation, because the future of work has completely changed. And in the past century, if you see last century, any kind of difficult situation or crisis, whether it is the same pandemic in 1917, or First World War, Second World War, or famine, or oil shock, human as a race has improved a lot better. So through this pandemic as well, a whole lot of new concepts will come. And the future of leadership is highly dependent on you have to be agile and adaptive, because today the future of work has completely changed. Learn from the past, live in present, and plan your future. So this is how is there. And last but not the least, use your emotional intelligence very intelligently. What your emotions tell you, you must listen to that. And one more thing, be happy. And in terms of EQ, happiness is directly correlated to your 4 pillars. It is self-regard, optimism, interpersonal relationships, and self-actualization. Continue to enhance your scores on that. You are bound to be successful. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Pranav. As you said, learn from the past, live in the present, and plan for the future. It's
Yeah,
definitely going to be a key takeaway from this interview.
yeah.
It was wonderful connecting with you, Pranav. I had personally have a lot of learning experience through it. I learned a lot, and I'm sure it's going to be the same for our audience as
Oh, great. Thank you. And
well.
thanks to peopleHum.